For hundreds of years, suspicions of a plot to take over America have swirled around the Freemasons, the world's oldest secret society. Freemasons played critical roles in the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the design of our nation's capital. The untold story of the Freemasons in America reveals secret codes, patterns taken from the stars, of the nation's founding fathers. Washington, D.C., one of the most photographed cities in the world. Its monuments are powerful and familiar, its history well known. Or is it? In recent years, a gathering storm of suspicions has brought renewed interest in an old idea that the United States is somehow under the control of a powerful secret society, an innocent-seeming worldwide civic organization with nearly 2 million members in the United States, the Freemasons, and that Washington, D.C. is ground zero for that conspiracy.
We know that Dan Brown, the author of the Da Vinci Code, intends to set his sequel to the Da Vinci Code against the backdrop of Freemasonry and some of these interesting histories and mysteries that go back to the founding of America.
The symbols that reveal the Freemasons' presence, whisper the rumors, are all around us, hidden in plain sight. Some are obvious, like the compass and square, a public sign found on every Freemason lodge. The G in the center refers, the Freemasons say, to God, the grand architect of the universe. Other Freemason symbols are more subtle. Even on the dollar bill, the theories allege, are secret codes understood by Freemasons everywhere to mean that the plot to take over America is going well. Scholars find the idea ludicrous.
They build this conspiracy theory and they weave it together until it's a huge giant thing. The Masons are just an element of it because it includes the CIA, the KGB, the PTA, and every other alphabet thing. Of course they include the Masons because the Masons have secrets.
Anti-Masons talk a lot about the Masons trying to take over the world, the new world order, you know. Do they really think that people like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin were engaged in a conspiracy to take over the world?
The truth about the Freemasons in America may be even stranger than the conspiracy theories. The story begins in England, in the days of the founding Freemason fathers. No one knows exactly how it happened, but the medieval Freestone Masons Guild was transformed in the 1700s by politically minded noblemen into an entirely separate organization. These new Freemasons wanted a secret club to advance their own blend of Enlightenment ideals, science, reason, equality, and freedom of thought.
I think it's important to see Freemasonry as a repository of intellectual knowledge, scientific knowledge, that by definition had to develop as a secret society because of the hegemony of the church in earlier times.
In the late 1730s, the Pope issues a papal bull stating that Roman Catholics cannot join the fraternity because Freemasonry at its heart is about breaking down religious barriers. It's bringing together people of different religious origins. And for people who believe that the church is the center of things and that other organizations dilute it, Freemasonry is a frightening kind of thing.
It caught like a wildfire because it represented a new way of thinking about the world that was the wave of the future. Great thinkers like Voltaire in France, people like Mozart composing the Magic Flute, which is a Masonic allegory. Adam Smith, David Hume, people we associate with the ideas that then led to the American Revolution.
Benjamin Franklin was one of the first Americans to join the secret society. He underwent the bizarre ritual of the Freemason initiation ceremony in Philadelphia in 1731.
These rituals used by Freemasons are undoubtedly of ancient Jewish origin, very old Jewish origin, going back to the time of Solomon, 3,000 years probably. It is about death and resurrection, which is at the heart of the concept of Freemasonry. Each Freemason is physically resurrected from a symbolic death.
The Freemasons' secrecy and acceptance of men of different religious groups made them targets of suspicion.
In the 1730s in America, there's a good deal of talk, what is Masonry's secret? It mattered if you were a Presbyterian or if you were a Baptist. So Masonry, in blurring those kind of lines, seems to many people to be upending some of the foundations of society.
Freemasonry spread throughout the colonies. By the 1770s, revolution was in the air, with American Freemasons like Paul Revere taking the lead.
The Boston Tea Party is the point at which you can see Freemasons actually being closely involved with one of the central events of the American Revolution. Because we know the Green Dragon Tavern in Boston, the meeting place of one of the key groups of Masons. This is the center of a lot of the meetings about the Tea Party. In fact, there's a drawing of the Green Dragon Tavern from this period that actually somebody has written on there. This is where we planned what becomes the Boston Tea Party.
Paul Revere, John Hancock, and Joseph Warren are all members of the lodge. Okay, we're talking about firebrand liberals.
This lodge doesn't meet that night. It's actually written in the minutes that we were involved with the tea.
One cannot truly understand how the American experiment came to be, how the ideals of the American Revolution flourished without studying the role of Freemasonry. Masons are dangerous. A Mason learns that he or she has a free will. A Mason is very dangerous when it comes to systems of government that try to oppress the free mind of an individual.
With the Mason-influenced revolution underway and the new nation defining itself, Freemason Ben Franklin suggested an important change to Thomas Jefferson's draft of the Declaration of Independence.
We hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable.
The word sacred bothered Franklin, by now the Grand Master of the Pennsylvania Freemasons.
Better still,
Freemasons America, in accordance with advanced Enlightenment ideas, would be bound by reason, not by faith. Franklin found a more acceptable word: self-evident.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The Declaration of Independence is part of the same intellectual world as early Freemasonry. It's a world where God still exists, but you don't emphasize the specific things that divide you about religion.
Protection of divine providence. We mutually
These
pledge.
individuals were not primarily Christians in their belief system. They saw themselves as Christians in a very broadly defined light. They talked about divine providence. They didn't talk about God. They talked about belief in man and the importance of doing good works in this life, on this earth. They talked about tolerance, progress, the need for men to band together to change society.
Of the 56 men to sign the Declaration of Independence, 9 were openly Freemasons, including the presiding officer.